we're gonna come back to this one? Cause I need direction as to,
Well, that's what I was saying, how do we vote? Each individual, component of the
There's
compensation.
three parts, do we go at the end for all of it?
yeah, but I need some ideas so that we can start working, and some ideas means, are we going, are we saying, maybe we're thinking of doing the pay slip? Or we're not? Cause that, by tomorrow, July 1, we need to do what we need to do. Or we're talking about doing something for the hourly employees. Again, you can approve the budget without approving the compensation plan. You can come back, give me your questions, I'll give you some answers. As long as the compensation plan is approved before the first day of teachers coming in, then we can qualify them. If not, then anything that we do will not qualify for TRX.
But even if we were to come back, I mean, the numbers are not gonna change.
The numbers are not gonna change. The only thing that's gonna change is I'm gonna tell you, okay, here's how much if we only give the step, here's how much if we only give $400 for hourly employees like we did last year, or here's the number, We're not gonna do anything. It's 304, 712 less. Yes, sir.
But will we have a better view of, as far as the enrollment?
No, that's not gonna happen until October 30, when is team snapshot, October 31st?
October 30th.
October 31st. We won't know the numbers until October 31st. No action, everything stays the same, no step. 304, 712, more or less goes into a monthly account.
Last year we gave a step, that had nothing to do with the layoffs,
Last year we gave a step,
to the teachers and to the hourly employees.
yes,
Right?
everybody, except administrators.
Except administrators. And that has nothing to do with the people that were laid off.
No, see, here, I know, I can understand the closeness of it. I can understand that, but
I think that's something that if you can just clarify real quick, cause it's really easy how you said the closeness, because it's dealing with the money. So on one hand, we're like, well, we laid off because we didn't have money, but now we're giving that money, you know?
right.
So can you clarify that?
Sure. The reasons for the layoff were twofold. Okay? Let's forget about money. Let's forget about money, let's forget about fund balance, let's forget about pulling money from fund balance. One of the reasons why is that our enrollment, student enrollment, has been declining, okay, for the past 4 or 5 years. That was one thing. The state, one of the findings, I'm not gonna say it was the first finding, what they're saying is, based on the number of students that you have, when you divide the number of students by the formula, and I think 6 is the number that they come up with, you have too many employees overall. That's called the first report. It has 2 indicators, 16 and 17. So they take indicator 16 that's the first one. They say, based on the number of students, based on this formula that we have statewide for teachers, you're fine with teachers. We got 5 points or 4 points. Then, do you have it there? Oh, great. So then, when you go to the next one, and they said, based on the number of students, based on the formula statewide, you have too many staff. So regardless of how much money you had on the bank, the fact that you have too much staff eventually is going to be drawing money from fund balance to make payroll, because you cannot sustain yourself. So they're saying, hey, keep an eye on that. The problem with the district was that it got compounded because we had that, plus the past 2 or 3 years we had been pulling money to support all the employees that we had. That was the second point. That's what made us go into the financial situation that we're at. That if we would have kept on top of it and we would have adjusted as we were losing employees, as we were losing students, we could have done it through attrition, we'd be fine. But that didn't happen. So here we are. can see the concerns, and it is concerns. It's not that, you say you don't have concerns, but you do have concerns, not necessarily about what the community is saying or whatever, but financial concerns. Are we sure that these numbers are going to materialize? That's the bottom line. It's a concern. It's a concern. No offense to Judge Flores. We're shell shocked. We wanna go through it again.
And I think I'd have an easier time saying yes, giving raises to. It was a scenario where we had 6 million in fund balance, and TEA came in, you're overstaffed by 30 people because of your students. Then I could say, okay, you know what?
Right.
That was a recommendation, but we had money. It wasn't because combination of no money and overstaffing. That's my.
And a very legitimate, because Ron was able to pull the first, and we have our first we have our preliminary one, and we're still, remember, this one here will be, is this the current one, or is that 12, what is this?
These were my projections at that time.
Okay.
And the 17 was based on what we.
Right, so let's, indicator 16 is your teachers, so look at, and let's start with 910. 910, right here, this is, what they're saying, 22 is considered high, 11.5 is considered low. Anywhere in between, you're fine. So this is high, this is 22, this is 11 and a half. Anything in between is considered fine. You want to be closer to the top than closer to the bottom. So in 910, this is our actual data. We were at 15.89. So we were here. On 1011, we were at 15.53. And that amount right there, 0.89 to 0.53, you're talking about 10, 15 individuals. Or, yeah, maybe so. But these are teachers, right? Yeah, so let's go to 11, 12, 15.21. This is our ratio of teachers to the number of students. On 12, 13, 14.58. 13, 14, which is this year, because we closed vacancies, we were at 14.66.
But watch the student number down below.
Yeah, but look at the student numbers here, 2309, 2299, 2188, 2213, 2169, 2146.
That's a projection.
That's a projection. Look at the number of teachers here. At 2309, we had 145.3 teachers. At 2213, we had 151 teachers. So we had more teachers with less students. But again, even this scenario, we still have a chance, and that's why we closed. I believe 3 individuals retired. We closed those 3 positions to make sure that we maintain. So let's look at 17. Is there any way you could run it this way? Or probably not, right? Well, that's fine. No, that's fine. So let's look at 17. So this is teachers. We're keeping it between the line. We're gradually decreasing, but we're still okay. So this is overall employees. This is the number overall employees, everyone. That's everyone, from the superintendent to the bus driver, every single one. And they're saying high would be considered 14, low would be considered 6.3. Anything else is not good. Okay, so let's look at 810. At 810, we're at 6.17. At 810, we could have done something about it because we were already below, so we were not getting the amount. At 1011, we're at 6. At 1112, we're at 584. At 1213, we're at 580. And then we start gradually going up, and then we're projecting 6.45 because of the layoffs and things of the sort. So look at the number of students and staff. The high number here, and we could have gone further. What is that number, Ron? I can't see it.
2309.
Number of students, 2309. Total staff, 374. 2309, 374, and we're below. Back then, let's go to 11, 12.
I was a teacher during 2010, and they did do something about it. That's gonna cost us something in a year from now. They did the tax ratification. At a breakfast, I can still remember, and I have my little paper somewhere, and I will bring it, at a breakfast, and that's what they're doing, they're using scare tactics. at our first breakfast, we were sitting there and I don't like to live in the past, you know that, but I think that if something was done that's gonna cost us a lot more. We were having breakfast, they said, guys, all over the state of Texas, they're letting go of people because they don't have money, the legislation took money away from us. On your table, you're gonna find a white sheet of paper. I'll never forget. She told us, fold a little piece of paper together and put INS on one side, put the M&O on the other side, draw a circle in the middle, and we're gonna move pennies from this one to pennies to this one. I'll never forget. And if you look at the number of tax ratification people that came to vote, only like 105 people came to vote. And what they did was, there at that breakfast, they said, we don't do this tax ratification, all the teachers are going to lose their job. It was a scare tactic. And I'm not blaming nothing or I'm not saying nothing, but right now, that's what I see on this table. It's a scare tactic. Our teachers deserve a raise? No, we're not gonna have a raise because we're not gonna have money to fix it. This thing, how they fixed it in 2009, 2010, is gonna hit us next year. Regardless, it's not Mr. Garcia wanting to have a 5% tax increase. That's the reality of it. If now we're gonna go deeper into the hole. It's not that we don't give a raise to our teachers that deserve it, that it's gonna save us and it's gonna keep us afloat. No, it's not. It's not gonna do it. What happened has nothing to do with us not, it has all to do with staffing right here. And then right there, when we had that problem in 2009, 2010, this is a reality because this is a chart and we're open and we're here for everybody. Instead of freezing and cutting through attrition and stopping people from coming aboard, it continued to increase and people were still hired. And now we have no money. And the state is telling us, hey, y'all are getting docked for this because y'all have more employees than students, because you're losing more students and you're still hiring teachers. And right now, that's what's happening. We're thinking right here, you can't think like that, because that's what got us into this hole right now. It's not, it's staff. It's overall. It's overall.
Right. Here's the irony. The irony is that there are people in the audience right now that called it correctly, that this was going to happen. And here we are. The problem was that it was used as a scare tactic, and I'm not using, those are not my words.
No,
I wasn't here.
I'll own it. I used it. It was scare tactic. And I'm going to find my little paper. I'm going to be no man. I'm going to find it. You can see it, because I have it. Huh?
And what was done with, here's the problem with the theory, the tax ratification. And if you hear the way it was explained, it does make sense. If we don't have the theory, we're going to lose people. That is true. Because by moving pennies from your INS to your M&O, that's going to generate more money. More money generated, we can keep everybody, instead of handling it, we kick the can down the road. The problem was twofold with the theory. One is, yes, you do generate more money, and that is great, but don't forget that because you move those pennies from INS to M&O, now your INS side is not going to generate enough money to make your bond payments. So before you spend, and I'm making it up, before you spend this $10 that you got, remember that out of this $10, 6 are required to make the payment, so you only have 4. And you should have adjusted as a district. But instead, we needed, not only do we need this 10, we need $12. So I'm going to take 10 from the theory and 2 from the fund balance. And this is where we're at. It was just a perfect financial storm. But how do we move forward? We've taken the hardest step. We were working on getting this corrected.
And I'll blame myself because back then I was a teacher and every meeting I see teachers here. I should have done something and I should have been out there in the audience and I should have been more vocal. Now my job is to be their voice because when I ran, that's what I said. I want to be their voice. Not only our teachers, our staff, because that's what's getting affected. We had to let go of many staff members because of this. Because our overstaffing, our formulas were not there and we're overstaffed.
But that has been long before I came on.
Well, that's what I'm saying, 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what happened is that the last superintendent we had, and all of this, as far as the staffing came to light when we interviewed Mr. Garcia. He told us straight out, you're gonna be in trouble next year. Because this was happening when we asked Mr. Min if that was true. We got some meeting, I thought she was a liar, she got mad.
And it's not blaming Peters or being the past, but we're trying to correct the problem. And sometimes fear is a word that is used. Hey, that was a fear tactic back then. Hey, a lot of people are gonna lose their job. That's a fear tactic right now. Hey, we're gonna give an increase to people who should get a pay increase, but we're scared because we don't know the numbers are there.
And I think that, you know, we can use that money right now, to exactly, cover for books that we need. You know, there's everything that Mr. Garcia mentioned a few years ago. That money, I think, it could be used immediately to affect teachers, to have supplies for them. You know, and I've heard studies where, teachers, and I said it before, teachers